bachelor group here at Bristol Zoo, so that's 5 males. I'll introduce them to you. You'll have to forgive my lisp, I have actually bitten my tongue, so it makes me sound a little bit silly. In pride of place, right at the front is our dominant male, Atari. It's what we call a bull seal. He's 15 years old and he's the father of the other 4 boys in our group. So in descending age order, right at the back over there, bobbing backwards and forwards, is Toro. He's 9 years old. Up on the left over here is Pablo, who is 7. In the water just down here is the mischievous one. This is Miguel, who is 6. And then the youngest in our group, who's just disappeared into the water, is little Juan down here, who is 5 years old. So just wait till he gets back up. There we go. Now we do a number of different trained behaviours with our seals, and quite often we will actually go into the enclosure with them. We work with them one-on-one. Today we actually have them out as a group so you can see all of them, but I can still show you a couple of the behaviours. Now predominantly the behaviours we do are either for natural behaviours for the seals, or they're to do with health checks. So we start with something straightforward with Atari here. We can start by doing what we call a flipper raise. So Atari, good. And the other one, good. Now the flipper raise is particularly useful because it shows us a part of the seal's body that we wouldn't get to see without training, which is the underside of the flipper. South American fur seals will spend about 50% of their lives on land, and they put an awful lot of pressure on those flippers. So they can get cuts or abrasions on them, and also you can probably imagine having a bachelor group, 5 boys, as you can see with Toro there. They get a bit boisterous from time to time, and when they play or when they have a bit of a squabble, they do so with their teeth. So they can get little puncture wounds, so we just want to keep an eye, make sure everything's healing up nicely. Now the water in this enclosure is actually salt water, slightly higher salinity than seawater, and believe me at the moment that's not easy to say. So the salt water does actually help with the healing process as well, so it keeps things nice and clean. Now we've also trained all of our seals to do something that looks a little comical, looks like a trick, but we don't teach tricks here, we're not a circus. We are an education and conservation charity. So all the behaviours do have a purpose, and this next one, it's a little spin. Sorry. So what you can probably see, it does look like a trick. It's particularly useful because if a child is having a problem either with his upper body, his chest, or the joints in his flippers, he either won't perform the behaviour properly, or he won't do it at all, and it gives us the opportunity to investigate further. Now you got to see how mobile it is there. Sometimes we need to reverse. We need to stay perfectly still for us, so we can have what's called a layout. Time. No. That's not what I'm asking. What's going on? I'll wait for it. Come back up. There. No. Come on. I haven't asked you for anything yet. No. Good. He is getting a little bit confused. He has difficulty just telling the difference between some of the hand signals with us being a little bit of distance away. But he is getting the hang of it. Now the layout is particularly useful if we're in the enclosure because you can do tactile on the seal, so you can run your hands over the body, you can check for lumps or bumps underneath the fur. It's also very useful when it comes to weighing our seals. As you can probably imagine, we've got an extremely large set of weighing scales indoors. If we can get them to lay perfectly still on the scales, we can get an accurate reading for their weight. But it's also useful for taking x-rays. Now we can bring a portable x-ray machine down to the enclosure, get the seals to lay perfectly still on the x-ray plate in the appropriate place, and get a good quality radiograph of it. Now we've got to see Atari on his front there. We can also get him to lie on his back and show us his underside. It's called a reverse layout. Sorry. Good. Now again that's useful because like the flipper raise, it gives us the opportunity to see a part of Atari that we wouldn't get to see without training, which is obviously his underside. Now we can do tactile on him if we're in the enclosure, but it's particularly useful should we have females in the group at any point in the future. We can bring a mobile ultrasound machine down to the enclosure. We can get the female seals through a reverse layout for us and do a full body scan on her, so we can check for pregnancy, or if she's pregnant, check for the health of the fetus. Right then, you've walked in a seal memory close today, you could be forgiven for thinking that our first seals here are related to true seals. But they are in fact more closely related to sea lions. Now, there's a couple of main differences which I'll point out to you now. First and foremost, you can probably see on the side of the boys' heads, they've got little ears sticking out. Now this is something that sea lions have, but true seals don't. They actually have ear holes in the sides of their heads instead. But the more obvious difference comes in their manoeuvrability. First seals, just like sea lions, move around on all four flippers, and all four flippers can rotate. And it may surprise you to know that an adult male Qatari here can actually reach speeds of up to 30 kilometres an hour on land. Now true seals can't do this. They don't have the same development in their upper body and their front flippers, and they tend to move along on their stomachs rather like giant hairy caterpillars. You certainly never see a true seal perform behaviour like this. Good lad, good. Now keep in mind with the Sari here, he's weighing around 110 kilos. His maximum tends to be about 130, while a bull seal in the wild will go up about 175. But even at 130 kilos, he's more than capable of performing that behaviour, so it just highlights how much of a body strength he's really got. Now one similarity between fur seals and true seals is actually given away by the name, it's to do with fur. Now sea lions have a single layer of fur, whereas fur seals and true seals have a double layer. They have an outer layer that keeps them nice and dry, and this is the dark layer that you can see. You can probably see around the Tari's neck and down his back, there's an orangey underlayer. Now this is a much denser lower layer which keeps them nice and warm in cold climates. Now the boys have done a good job there today, so I'm going to bring my talk to a close. I do appreciate how amusing it is having somebody lisping through a seal talk, so I do apologise for that. I do hope you've enjoyed seeing one of my training sessions, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day at Bristol too.
Thank you. Typical boy works off